All right, here we are. We are on here live, and certainly we're glad to be here. If you can hear me clearly, can I unmute your guest? Choose the mute. Okay, unmute your. There you go. All right. So you that are on here, we're waiting on Dr. Stevens and Dr. Boyd to get in here. But at this moment, we have special guests on tonight. We got Pam, board member of EFI Television Network, on here with us tonight, and her two others has decided to run off.
Well, thanks for the phone calls. I was
But
wondering why I see their name on the list.
yeah, they made their little rounds and excuses, but I understand.
Okay, well I'll see them. I'll see them Tuesday night.
Yeah,
Okay.
especially Miss Pryor. She had a very I think she had an engagement with a member, so ministry duties had to come. But the other one, I think her name is Ross. We must have laughed on FaceTime messaging for a minute, laughing, but she said she'll make the next one. So I didn't want you to be alone, so we got the Honorable Dr. Kimberly Wilson, licensed doctor of psychiatric psychologist, and that's what she do, so you would not be alone. She will represent. This one is from Louisiana and guaranteed to be heard and get the message across. So you won't be alone. I promise you, you got to get help. Dr. Stevens has made his arrival. He's a doctor within his own rights of education and so forth. And then you got Dr. Bard will be with us. He'll turn in shortly. So it's going to be an interesting show tonight as we deal with this last subject we dealt with, and that was the need of a man. That's going to be some antagonized person, and then we're going to allow the women to be heard. I don't want them to go away and say that we did not give them a shot to be heard. I want you to behave, to have not behave, but have your word. I'm not going to too much interact. I'm just going to put the questions there when Dr. Boyd get in, and then I'll just be the mediocre, well, not the mediocre, the balancer. I can't get that word out. But yeah, it's going to be a tough show tonight. Meanwhile, let me lay the platform tonight. This is the men's round table talk. Of course, we know. We want to deal with the communication of man and woman and why it is failing. The understood of the behavior of the man as well as of the woman. I don't want this show to turn into a battered show where we're battering one another, but rather find a solution to heal somebody out there in this TV land that we're dealing with. I know we on Facebook and I know we on TikTok or all of those straight stuff that's out there. We know all of that. But right now we're in millions of homes right now. And they have access to what we are saying. I want somebody to call in and say, hey, y'all help turn our marriage around, our relationships around, and it got real, and I can appreciate the realness of it. Dr. Bard has made his way in. So, all right, I want to get into that with that show. But before we go any further, I want to watch this clip. And again, I want it to be clear. This is not a bashing moment for the women. And I don't want us to find the easy way out to blame. And you can put your water up, Dr. Barr, because you know we got the juice bag over here. Look, he done pulled the juice up.
Hey, Pastor Boyd, that's okay, Pastor Boyd.
See, them buddies right there. You see, that's that debt right there. They probably already talked. You know, Fiona, don't let them get there. But anyway, let's watch this clip, and we're going to come back to it. All right, let's go and let's play it.
don't. That's where the foundation of trust is built. The loyalty, the commitment, because he's not trying to win you over with any money because he doesn't have it.
All right. That clip is what I want to deal with. How do women, and how do men see the women? And how do the women see the man? Why is it that we have so many marriages and relationships broken, shattered, and cannot connect and stay connected to each other? Now, our co-host, we're going to give him the first round, and then we're going to switch from him to Pam, and then we're going to jump back over to Dr. Wilson, and then we're going to let Dr. Stevenson wrap it up, and then if we can't get out of it, we'll antagonize it until we can get out of it. Dr. Boyd, the flow, sir. We can't hear you, Dr. Boyd. You're limited. Okay, now we got you. I don't hear him. Do y'all hear him? We can't hear him. He must have muted it. Let me go down here and make sure. He's not muted on my end.
He's
You
muted.
muted it. I'm muted. There it is. You're muted. Dr. Boyd. Okay.
The volume is not good.
His volume is not good. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I don't know. You might want to need to get your microphone kind of fixed there. Until you get that, we'll jump over to Pam, Lady P, and let her walk with it. Then when you come back in, we'll bring you in afterward. What's your position on this, Lady P?
Well, first of all, I want to say good evening to everyone. Lady Kim, Dr. Stevenson, Dr. Boyd, and Lamar Thomas. Thank you for inviting us to the show. Didn't know what to expect, you know, especially when you invite somebody to something. I don't know what I need. So anyway, I try to stay positive all day. Well, I think it's a communication gap. Sometimes we as couples can say the same thing and mean the same thing, but we're saying it's like we're talking different languages. I think the first key to a relationship is to learn each other. Once I learn I hate to say partner, my man. I don't like partner. Once I learn my man and his body language, he learned mine. I think that we can go further in the relationship. But if I'm saying something, we have to listen to each other. I should not be able to come to you and say something and you don't want to hear me. You have to hear me. You have to listen. Even if you don't say anything, just listen. Because we are more emotional than you guys. You guys are emotional, but y'all hide it.
No.
Yes,
No.
you do hide it.
No, we do not.
Okay, Dr. Stevenson, why are you shaking your head over there?
Because it's not true.
It's
So
not
y'all
true.
think y'all hide it?
No.
Well,
Can I explain it?
Go ahead.
The process men take to arrive at the place where we express an emotion is different from a woman's process. She emotion first.
Right.
We think and see how can this be analyzed. We don't care about how it feels.
Right.
We care about how is it going to produce?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. Okay, I understand that. Okay, thank you for that. So, okay, so y'all analyze first. We act, right? But okay, so with me acting out and you analyzing, we still got to learn each other's body language. We got to understand, we got to learn each other, because if I'm acting out emotionally, I'm not wrong. That's my makeup. If you analyzing first, I should not knock you because you quiet and don't want to talk right now. I should not say that it's something wrong, because there's nothing wrong on both parts. We're both right. But sometimes guys will make us feel like when we express ourselves, oh, you just too emotional. You're doing too much. No, that's us.
Well, I think in this question, and I'm jumping in just for a second, jump back out, and then I'm gonna let your assistant, your helper who came tonight to help you cross the line. I think the problem that lies dormant is women think that they know us so well about their communication with other women, or their communication from their previous relationship or their mother. In this instant, what I want to take it in a little bit deeper, and I hope Dr. Bard's microphone is working.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, he in. I want to go this far because a lot of women are single, especially the minority Negro women are single due to the fact of the mothers in the 60s and the 50s and the 70s, somewhat of the 70s, who have raised their daughters to be literally independent, not to hear a man, always want to save a little bit for yourself. Never tell the man this and never this and that, here and there. They never communicate 100% with the man they need and they want and they desire. When that happens, the behavior is submitted with limited. It's submitted limited. It's short. It's a short stop bus, but women expect a man to be 100 with them while trying to save at least 50% of themselves. Dr. Wilson, if you share, then Dr. Boyd is your ride.
Well, I think, as Lady P said, in order to have an effective relationship, the communication has to be there. We can't be talking past each other.
That's right.
I think a lot of relationships fail because you're not listening to each other. And also, as she also stated, if you don't know a person, then you're not going to be able to provide the things that he or she needs if you don't know that person. So you definitely got to take time. Nowadays, I see, especially with the younger generation, you just jumping in a relationship just to say you're in a relationship. And you have not taken any time to get to know that person. And you really may not have anything in common. And so to piggyback just off what she said, I think communication is definitely key.
Yes.
And it fails down when you're talking past each other.
Yes.
Dr. Boyd?
I believe we got too many talk shows, outside influence, where traditionally we too busy trying to look through the lens of what other people are saying and not getting to know that person for themselves. So in other words, it's like the way I talk, you already done put me in a file cabinet or file me or label me in a certain category. So you're not really getting to know me. You're trying to find out what label I am. And the vice versa. What label is this woman? Is she this? Is she that? And too many times we see what I call YouTube disciples. They listen to these people talk about these relationships, and then they go back and say, aha, that's the way he is. without even knowing what kind of person I am or like what she is. And too many of these opinions are getting to these, then are spilled over to the relationship. To now, when a person sees some telltale signs of something that they heard, something they done did research on, they saying that's what that person. And that's the thing that I see. That's what probably will never be no relationship, because again, it's all these labels, all these psychological labels that we'll put up under. To the degree, if I talk a certain way, if I say a certain thing, rather than getting an understanding what kind of person I am, there's a label. I'm already trying to prove that I'm not or what I am. And I'm gonna make this short right quick. I had a young lady that I was talking to earlier misjudged a conversation I was had about, she thought I was a person that would attack intellectuals. And because it seems that I downplay intellectuals in my commentary whenever I'm talking about things or something to that degree. And I was not angry. I was kind of puzzled. Why would she think that when my wife is an intellectual? I mean, she's pretty intelligent. So why would, and I don't think I demean her or ever talk about her the way she talked. But at the end of the day, I couldn't see, but she couldn't see past that label. Once I got that label, that was it. And there's nothing else I can say, nothing else I can do. It's just that. And so even with me explaining myself, you're still going down your cue card, trying to, well, now you still saying this. Now, you know, your mind is already made up in what I am before I even can get out of the courtroom of your opinion, even if I'm making that appeal. So the reason why relationships are broken like they are, and no, we will never get to know each other if we're going to look through each other through labels.
That's right.
That's my argument.
Stephen?
Let me start with saying good evening to everyone. I want to address a few things that I've heard up until this point in terms of what causes various blocks and stifles and even destroys. Communication is support, but one of the things, two things I would like to highlight. The first thing is we have to know how to forgive each other.
Mm-hmm.
We have to know what forgiveness is. And the second thing is, if we are just alike, that is horrible. So we're going to destroy this ideology that consists of, number one, a false narrative that dictates that we are waiting on a soulmate. That's stupid and unbiblical, and it's paganistic. It centers around Zeus, the Greek god, and it has nothing to do with believers and how believers respond to love. If you are desiring to find out how the male-female interaction erotically consists, you can read the Song of Solomon, destroy that soulmate myth. That's one of the first things. We've got to respect. I didn't say agree with. If you don't agree with someone, they think you disrespect them. Disagreeing with you is not disrespecting you.
Right.
I am not disrespecting you because I see something different. Neither are you disrespecting me because you see something different. I believe you should have a space to have your say, but you don't. That doesn't mean you're going to have your way. Mm-hmm. Because if that is the case, then I can't love you. A man cannot love you. If he is responsible for providing and protecting, and he has to yield his protection, I really believe we minimize the importance of the protection piece. It means more than being your pit bull. It means that man has got to have some foresight.
Mm-hmm.
That means he's got to foresee. It doesn't mean he lacks emotions. That means he's paying attention. He is actively listening. He is actively observing. Because guess what? He is not simply responsible for himself. He is responsible for her and everything that comes out of her.
Right.
And one of the things that is so disheartening is that when we start dealing with the intergender dynamics that consist of men and women, we minimize what is a natural byproduct in terms of a man's natural inclination. And I listened to, I think it was Lady Pam. She said something about we sometimes demonize, or some women are demonized for being emotional. Now, women can acknowledge that they are the emotional species within humanity from a generalized standpoint, but that is not to be demonized. That is not to be demonized. You just because she responds with an emotion before you arrive at an emotion.
Yeah.
You can arrive at an
Yeah.
emotion. You've got to process it. Men don't get that privilege, and I think that because we don't applaud, appreciate, and consider each other's differences, we are so busy trying to make somebody like somebody else, like some warped, thrown off, nonsense making propaganda that says you can think like a man. When someone previously stated, I believe it was Pastor Boyd, because I'm trying to actively listen. Pastor Boyd said talk shows are dictating. Now here's the question: who are they dictating this nonsense to?
Right.
Because we don't take it. Remember, we're hard-headed. Remember, we don't like listening. So we're definitely not listening to that garbage.
Right.
We're not buying a system that was never instituted.
Right.
Display a divine order that consists of systems, orders, and structure.
Right.
We can't dismiss that. We are different. We must applaud and appreciate each other's differences instead of women trying to, well, she's got to show her masculine side. How dare you fix your mouth to say that? How dare our women fix their mouth to say that?
That's masculine. I don't want no masculine.
Like that is a compliment. Compliment. And that is not there's nothing flattering about that.
No.
Nothing flattering. Oh, I just got to be comfortable in my feminine side.
Yeah.
What does that look like? Do you want a man that act, sound, and display various characteristics that don't complement who you are as a woman?
Absolutely.
We're so busy trying to make somebody something that fits what we are, instead of saying, okay, you're strong, this is where I'm weak. And we are so sad, and I'm so sick of people misrepresenting the Bible because they call themselves going to church and they read the bulletin, but they never study the scriptures. And they express that when the Bible calls her weak, that means that she's inferior. That means that she's unintelligent.
Right.
That means she's horrible. Now you let these modernized folks who don't go to church, and we take and adopt the same idiotic talking points, and we'll deliver that same stupidity at church. At church. We'll say that same stupidity, not taking the time to evaluate that when God calls her the weaker vessel, that means she is marked fragile.
Oh, wow.
That means she's marked fragile. When you order your goods from Amazon, when you order your stuff from Amazon, you don't expect them to throw the box at the doggone door. You don't expect them to kick the box out of the van. You expect them to ring your doorbell. You expect them to ask you to sign for it. Yeah. You expect for them to put it in your hand. Why? Yeah. Because what's inside of the box is fragile. But if you don't want to be the weaker vessel, I would love for you to be strong. And we'll talk to you the way we talk to men. We'll treat you the way we treat men. We'll respond to you the way because we don't care about each other's feelings.
No, we don't.
We tell the truth to each other, and we're not interested in each other's feelings. Why? Because the bottom line is, what is the bottom line? The bottom line is productivity, whether it's payment or enhancement within our vision and venture.
Right.
We don't need our feelings to add up.
No.
We need this accomplished. And
Yeah.
I think there is both, because when we do have a woman and she is connected to us and we are connected to her, when she is connected to us and we are connected to her, there is a reason why she has your name.
Ah.
There's a reason why you carry and bear the likeness of Christ.
Watch it, sir.
There is a reason. And since we are believers, I believe that we can see the scriptures to see what it dictates. But if our response to what God demands, if it's conditional, then you've got to disregard so many other things.
Wow.
Because we didn't set this in place. So the way to discredit it is men don't qualify. Men
Wow.
don't qualify. Men don't qualify. Men don't qualify. So who did watch? And here's where it gets interesting. Who determines the criteria? If it's the one that's raising their son, does she determine the criteria? If it's the one that's raising her grandson, does that determine the criteria? Or does the scriptures determine the criteria? Because if the criteria has to be met in order for you to express what it means to be a lady, we will never understand what compatibility is, because you resemble us not in physical features, but you resemble us in mannerism and ideology.
I need to put my head on. There's too much light in this room. Is there a rebuttal, lady?
Well, there's no rebuttal, but the thing about it, I don't want no man that's feminine
Ah.
at all.
So what do you call a feminine man? That's a good area.
Well, I mean, his mannerism is feminine, like a woman. I mean, you know, the way he throw that little pinky, you know, just
Let me go a step further.
Ball
Let
is in the way,
me go a
that's
step
Steve.
further.
I see. Your ball is in the way. Your drinking ball or your cup, whatever. Yeah.
Let me get my cup out the way. Let me explain it and express it this way. It's not simply him responding with effeminate tactics.
okay.
It doesn't mean that. It doesn't simply mean that this man is expressing female attributes and characteristics within his mannerism, but within his wisdom capacity. He has no masculine input. He has no reason why he has no conversation with a man.
Right.
He has, and does this discredit a woman? No.
Nope. It promotes her act.
Not discredit a mother. It does not minimize the importance of a mother. But I want you to identify this. If the environment that a buzzard is in, if that environment that the buzzard lives in, that buzzard lives with a bunch of chickens, don't you think that buzzard is going to respond with various characteristics that will resemble his environment, even though that's not his nature?
Wow.
That's what we see with these little boys. That's what we see with these teenage boys. They cannot handle rejection. They can't handle no. They can't handle criticism.
That's right.
They don't know how to master their emotions. They don't know how to deal with anything outside of their impulse. That's why they go crazy when the woman don't want them no more.
Ooh,
That's
and
why they
yeah.
go
Come
bananas.
on, man.
That's why they go bananas when they have to go out into the world and everybody tells them no. They don't understand that, okay, I hear no, but I'll do whatever I got to do until I get the chance to do what I want to do, because nobody cares about how you feel as a man.
That's right. That's right.
Boys don't get that. They're going to run into a brick wall, and their mama going to consistently be someone that says, I'm concerned about how you feel.
Yeah.
But guess what? He needs that, but he also needs that, but I said he, because you're complaining about men are not leaders. This is how you prepare them to be one.
Right.
How you prepare them to become one.
Yes, sir.
Don't let your feelings hurt. Your job is to go to work.
Period. Rain, sleep,
We have
or snow.
we have young men that will say, I'm not doing so because I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not feeling this today. Well, this is what they did to me at school. This is what they did to me at work. This is what, are you serious? And I'm going to go here because I'm about to make everybody uncomfortable. I don't care because I know it's real. Don't no man, there shouldn't be a man on this planet that should tell his wife, significant other, everything.
Whoa.
I showed my face. You know why? Because, you know, let me tell you why. Because you can love her. You love her so much until why would you transfer all of your negative garbage that you need to fix? She is marked fragile. You don't dump all that mess on her.
Let me give you an applause. Let me give you that. So you want to be so nosy and want to know everything. It ain't good for you to know everything. That's why God made Adam. Then he made him to name everything that needed to be done. When it was all finished, he said, now I see that you are alone. Let me give you and help me. Meaning, we don't need your help, ladies, get the job done. All we need you to do is massage us, talk to us, and we're going to get you what you want and what you need. Simple. All the other stuff is average.
That ain't what he's saying. That's
what I'm saying.
That's what he's saying. I don't agree with that. He took that a whole nother direction.
I did.
I'm not going with that. Being nosy and all that. That's a little bit.
That is nosy. Now, that is nosy. That is nosy.
He's simply saying,
yeah,
the
come
women
on.
that's watching this show, he's simply saying there's things that man internalize that do not need that energy, do not to be shifted. Because when we get past something, they will still be processing it, or they will still be thinking about it. We done dismiss that and go on to something else. But when a man is being emotional all the time, and the woman has to take up that role like he should with her, then that puts a lot more burden on her, because you're trying to be something. She's trying to help you cope with emotions that ain't going to be there the next 3 minutes. That's just the bottom line. I may feel this way right now. I may feel like want to get with Beyonce right now. But I'm not going to come home and tell my wife, you know what, I was thinking about getting with Beyonce a few minutes ago. I'm not going to do that. I process that different. You know?
I want you to do it, though. I want you to do it.
I want to be in tune with some things I want her to be, because she's my help me. There are some things that I feel like I should be able to go to with her, but I don't agree with sharing everything. I totally agree with that, Dr. Stevenson, sharing everything. And it's not about a woman being nosy, it's that you being responsible.
Yeah.
You're being responsible. Listen, can I tell you what a man
I don't care what
does?
y'all say. No. That's what I said. No.
When a man is trying to protect
that's why
you,
he's saying.
I'll prove my point tonight on that nosy. Straight up nosy.
Can I tell
Got
you,
to know
ladies,
everything. Go ahead, Dr. Stevens.
when a man is trying to protect you, one of the things he first try to protect is your feelings.
That's true.
And sometimes that's his biggest drawback. And sometimes that's his biggest tool of dishonesty. That is his largest pinnacle of dishonesty, because he cares about you too much to tell you the brutal honesty, because the brutal honesty will not always get a man the reward he wants. And what he wants is your softening.
And this is Dr. Stevens. They can't handle the truth. They can't handle it.
Pastor Ball, you trying to say we can't handle the truth?
No.
That is not true.
That's not the truth. I don't want you to dance around.
You can't handle telling us the truth.
Wait.
All right, here is some truth. I'll give you some.
All right, here goes the truth.
Some percentage. I can give you some percentage truth. We can't now here it goes. I'm gonna give you this preface before I give you the analogy, because I know it's gonna make some people uncomfortable, and I don't mind. It's okay, because I can substantiate it. I can substantiate it.
Get the shovel out. Get the shovel.
Here is one of the things that is so frightening. It's not that some women can't handle truth.
Okay.
They cannot embrace unflattering truth.
All right. Okay.
You can't embrace. Men hear it all the time.
It up to make y'all feel better.
No, it's real.
That's right. It's real, Lamar.
It's real.
Yeah.
Now, you know why I say that?
We talking
Because
about Stephen.
if a woman says something about us, let's say it's something physically. Oh, you got such a, oh, you need to lose some weight. Don't you know you getting a little big, baby. Or it don't matter what it is. It can be whatever the physical prowess may be concerning us. She is gonna say it. She can say it. We're not gonna I'm not talk to her for about 4 days because she said something that I'm uncomfortable with. And so I'm gonna refrain from her. I'm gonna put her in the doghouse. I'm gonna give her a cold shoulder. If we say some unflattering truth, I can guarantee that a woman will not reward unflattering truth from a generalized standpoint, no matter how beneficial it is, because most of the time she is conditioned from a little girl that we are her adversary. We are her adversary. Look out for those boys. They are nothing but trouble. Look out for them. So then as you grow up and move past your adolescent years, that mindset is still there. You're 16, it's still there. It's 18, you still there. You 25, it's still there. Now you 45, it's still there. Yeah. You 50, it's still there. And when is one gonna be good enough? Say, you know what? I will move into his frame and take on his vision. That's the point we don't want to talk about. Many people want relationships because you want dual income. Let's just be real. Inflation affects everybody. Don't look at me in that tone of voice. Inflation affects poor people. It affects middle class people. It affects company owners. It affects everybody. It affects products. It affects what's going to be shipped over into the States. So wouldn't it be better if you had 2 middle class incomes combined? But when you start talking about taking a man's frame, looking at his vision, I'm a part of a company. I work for a company. I don't run the company. I add help to the company. Right. I don't give the voice of finality, but I am an expert in my area. They hire me to help in that area. Some women don't want to help in the area where that man says, hey, would you help me right here? No, because that area may not be the area she wants. Because don't look at me in that tone of voice. I'm about to really make some people uncomfortable. Pass the board and I'm done. The highest honor that a man can receive from a woman is for a woman to say and show the delivery of a child to him. She put her body, she put her emotions, she put her life at death doors for him. That's still, I know he ain't nothing, he's horrible. That's still his seed.
Yeah, not yours.
That's still just as much as his seed that you house. So to give unflattering truth, that some women, the seed that is housed, sometimes they hurt it. Sometimes they hurt it. Can I give you an example? I do this all day long. All day long. I got 1,000 upon thousands of millions of diaries of scenarios that I've heard mamas. Where's his dad?
Your microphone. There you go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you now.
Where's his dad? Oh, his dad ain't no good. He only came to the school one time. Okay. Well, where's his grandfather? Well, where's his uncle? Well, you know, he's a good kid. He may want to do something. Have his grandfather. Well, I said, well, what do you do? I get with my girlfriends, and my girlfriends have sons. And I talk to my girlfriends about my sons. That's how unneeded we are. That's how we are told. Yeah. We have been instructed to not be heard. We have been instructed to not be considered. In fact, I'd go so far to say that the world could possibly be better if we didn't exist in it, because we are so unnecessary until you don't even need us to have a baby. You go to the fertility clinic and become a single mother on your own free will and accord.
Come on, man.
Don't look at me in that. Don't look at me in that. I can show the receipts. I talk to them. My feet hit the pavement. This is what I do. what I do. I went to the clinic. If you did that, do you not think that he's going to need? Do you think she's going to need? That's how unneeded we are.
Right.
And you wonder why these kids respond the way they respond.
Right. Yeah.
Watch this.
Balance.
Watch this. The worst man in the world is still more sufficient at being a man than a woman is.
Woo. That's hard, but it's fair.
Sorry, just like the worst woman in the world is more sufficient and competent at being a woman than a man is.
Right.
Warped we are that's how warped we are in America.
Yes, it. The walk.
We are. Look at these confused. Look at it. Look, we created this. This is what you grown folks created.
Yep.
What y'all created.
Behavior.
You have young ladies that respond with a masculine ideology, and you have young men that respond totally based upon their feelings.
Wow.
Nothing but a bowl of emotion.
Girl playing the role to the boy.
They can't
listen.
They quit jobs every other day because we've conditioned our young ladies to be strong.
Mm-hmm.
You strong and independent, but we've conditioned conditioned these little boys to be horrible.
Ain't that so?
And they find another woman that's gonna pamper, pacify him, and all he has to do is give her the good thrills and the good chills, and she gonna feed him, she gonna buy him this, she gonna buy him that, until she's no longer under the sexual spell.
Uh-oh.
Never had to learn what it was like to go out here and get rejected. It's a dog-eat-dog world out here when you gotta feed yourself.
That's it.
Dog-eat-dog world. Dog-eat-dog world. Ain't no mama, ain't nobody who cares. Can't eat, you just don't eat that day.
That's it. That's what it was. That's what it was.
If you want to go and look at the data, go and look at it. Go and look at how many homeless shelters, apartment complexes, and housing opportunities are extended to men who are homeless. I'll wait in Texas. I'll wait.
None.
I know women who are homeless. They got pregnant on purpose and was living an alternative lifestyle just because they knew that was going to put them on at the top of the housing list.
Ooh.
You want equality? Do we really want equality? Or do you want men to be men? Or do you want women to be women the way God designed them? Pick one. You can't have both. You can't have both. You cannot be every woman. You cannot be every woman.
Okay.
Do it.
Well,
you can't be a wife and a partner. You can't be a
make
husband
that
and a
make
partner.
sense. Make that make sense. How you be a wife and a partner? How you going?
Well, watch this here. This is why I say that. This is why I say that. Listen, in a partnership, if you don't give what is expected within the partnership, you are a burden and a liability to the partnership. You laid off your job, you are a liability to the partnership.
Wow.
Kids that came out of your body with old boy before I met you is a liability to the partnership. But if I'm your husband,
all that counts.
if she your wife, not your partner, if she your wife, there are various things that go along with the duties and the responsibilities. And we have esteemed our emotions and our pleasures above what is according to the responsibilities that God has ordained for us.
This is true.
That is a part of it. We don't care nothing about no duties and responsibilities. Same way Big Mama stayed married 60 years.
Yeah, one man.
Was Paul the best person in the world? No. Well, women were underprivileged and women were going through this and women were oppressed. You say that to grandma when Paul died and left her $800,000 when he died and worked for that lumber yard over 50 years. And mama don't have to work and kids are living better on daddy's labor.
Right.
That's what those men were doing back then. But you know what that lady was committed to? She was committed to him. If she wiles out because he's wilding out, then what happened to her ladyhood? If he does something because of what she did, what happened to his independent thinking as a man?
Right.
Well, if men were just better, women would be better. The devil is a lie. A man can be horrible. That's not going to make you run the street. If I leave, don't look at me in that tone of voice, but that's where we live. We need something to blame in order to be a convenient victim. Let's just take some ownership. Let's take some responsibility and say, hey, this is what I did on my own free will and accord. I messed up. I got 4 kids, 4 dudes. I got 4 kids, 4 baby mamas, but this is how I'm rebuilding my life. We don't have that kind of honesty. We're going to tear somebody down to make ourselves look better because that's what we do.
Come on, Doctor.
That's how we avoid the accountability.
Come on, Doctor Wilson. Because I know you pretty well, and I see it. I see you. Come on with it. Let me hear you.
Well, as Dr. Stevenson said, we first gotta break the generational curse. As a mother, we have to teach our little girls that being independent ain't nothing cute. A lot of women go around thinking because they independent, there's something cute. That's something that they was raised to be, the masculinity as he was speaking about. And so you have to raise our little girls to be a wife in order for them to know how to be one. You have to teach them. Kids only know what they're being taught. So as they grow up, if you teach them that dishonoring a man or talking to a man any kind of way or being masculine, they're gonna grow up and they're gonna think that that's what it's supposed to be. So as a parent, you have to be what you want your children to be.
Wow. True.
Also, if you happen to be in a role where you're a mother and the father is no longer together, you can't badmouth the other parent to the child. Allow that child to develop whatever relationship that they're going to develop with their father.
Mm-hmm.
Leave grown people stuff to grown people.
True.
Whatever you may feel about the other person is how you feel about the other person.
Right.
But you have so many broken homes because the grown people sit around and talk about the parent with the children.
Wow. Now that right there.
And then that child grow up with resentment and bitterness, and they involved in something that they have no business being involved in.
Wow.
That starts the broken home syndrome.
That's true.
Can I ask a question, young
Yes.
ladies? So good to see you. What would our interactions be, which resulted in kids? What would those interactions be if we knew that the person that we conceived with is the very last person we will ever have an opportunity to embrace with an exclusive relationship? What would that relational dynamic consist of?
That's a good question. Later, P, I'm gonna let you take that one. I'm gonna think on that one. That was a good one, there, Dr. Stevenson.
When you say what would it look like?
In your estimation, what would that dynamic look like? If the person you had a child with, if the person you had a child with was the very last person that you would have an exclusive relationship with, if he was your very last relational connection, what would be your interaction with that co-parent, and what would that relationship look like if he was going to be or she was going to be that last person?
Well, it'd be the connection would be there. If that's the last thing.
Would it be forced to be there? Or
No, it wouldn't be forced to be there. I wouldn't have it forced on my part whether I care for him or not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's a child involved.
Right.
And I tell people that when children are born, it's not about you anymore.
Right.
You know, sometimes we have children, it's like it's about me. I tell my daughters all the time when they had kids, it's not about you, it's about the kid. If we get ourselves out of the way and think about the child. You know, I was in education for 25 years, and I would tell them it's children first.
Right.
And when it wasn't children first, that's why I retired, because it's like it's not children first anymore.
I don't mean to interrupt, but when I was growing up in the house. My granddaddy came home. We didn't eat until my granddaddy got the first plate put on the table, and the children got to eat. I mean, I understand where you come from because I feel the same way you do. I don't care if it don't have to be my flesh and blood child. I would always put a child first, especially babies who don't even understand what
They're
life
innocent. They're
is.
innocent.
They're innocent are old people. I could be in the front line, but if an elderly walked in the line that's way back by the door, I'm going to say, Mother, Pop, y'all come on up, y'all go, because you strengthen your legs and you've earned your way. So I get what you're saying. However, the biblical point in the household, and this is not being a male chauvinist, at the end of the day, the way I was raised in the household, nobody moved except Paw foot moved first. Our dad feet moved first. When he walked in the house, he might have said, I'm going to take a bath. Oh, that's going to be another hour before we eat. Oh, we hungry. But you are not eating nothing in that table until he sat at the table.
You talk like that was right.
Huh?
You talk like that's right.
Well, I'm just saying the way I was raised. But then, since you said that, it kept the respect in the household. Nowadays, you put the child at the table first, and daddy ain't. They don't even care if the man ate or not. They don't even, because it's the little small thing. I say this all the time, even in classes when I'm counseling. It's the little things that cause major problems in the household. It's the small thing. What is the small thing? You did not understand when you went to the store to get apples. I want oranges, and you left the store with your apples and come home with no oranges. Now we're in there arguing over fruit. But the real big deal of it is when it comes back to it is the rebuttal I want to use there is that we did not communicate at the end of it. So back then they didn't do much communication. They did it by showing the authority and where it's sitting.
You know what? But when you're in a
Let me
relationship,
talk this thing here, and I'm gonna say this:
okay,
that respect. Me and my wife is in a blended family.
yeah,
We had one rule for everybody in the house: you will respect. I don't have to be your father, but you will respect me.
Right.
She don't have to be your mother, but you will respect me.
Right.
That rule was enforced even in our own hurt. When we had to enforce it, when it's an area that's sensitive, I can't take your side, but she's right. I may not agree with her, but she's right. These are things I never talk with my daughter or my son about things I disagree with the mother. I will talk to my wife.
I don't think you should do that.
But I don't talk to my kids because I don't want them to feel like there's an option. Now I told my wife this: you need to be the good cop, I need to be the bad cop.
Those are my adoptions right there.
You be good cop, I be good. You can consolate them because but the buck stops with me.
That's
so when you say you're gonna tell me, that's where it's gonna end with me.
Yeah.
Because I am the enforcer. I don't expect that to be from her because she's gonna always be empathetic to the cries, to the what may happen to them.
Right.
I'm an enforcer. I will put their butt out there. I will put you out that house, buck ball naked, and 20 below degree, and go to sleep.
You hear me? You hear me? Go to bed and sleep good too.
You can be hollering about, baby, don't treat him like, no. That's the enforcer. And when I come down, see how y'all
It
shake
came
your
up
head?
against the enforcer.
See that? See that? What I'm talking about? That's where it is. See,
All right.
you know, when you got that kind of respect, see, that's what happened.
Let
When
me
they know they can't manipulate mama,
it's a done deal.
You ain't finna cut me.
Can
Can
I go here? I'm gonna be subjective for just a moment, and I want to comment on what Pastor Boy was saying, along with Lady P and the other lady. Let me just give this brief,
Dr. Wilson, yeah.
Dr. Wilson,
Yeah.
this brief subjective life experience. This was my life.
Uh-huh.
Every boy goes through those various stages, and women don't understand it. Girls go through what is called, they go through their change when they are experiencing something that is brand new. And it would be in the best interest of her mother to take her mother take her to the store and explain to her, hey, this is what your body is going through.
Right.
yes.
These are some of the changes your body
Right.
is going through. This is what that means. There's nothing to be embarrassed about. There's nothing to be afraid of. But when boys go through that, oh, this is gonna get interesting. Boys go through various things hormonally, and we begin to get a little sharper. It's not that girls are smarter than little boys. It's not that women are smarter than men or girls are smarter than boys. How they operate within their natural capacity is different. A girl, when girls don't see, I've been, someone said 25 years, almost ready to go myself. When she said that she was in that capacity in terms of education and watching this human behavior consistently, you'll see girls that may be in the 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, they used to wear baggy clothes all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They wore baggy clothes all the time, 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. Now they're in the 9th, 10th grade. Their clothes are getting a little tighter. Boys are looking at them differently. Why? She is observing her feminine strength. Look at me in her tone of voice. She is observing and becoming aware of the feminine strength she has, because those boys didn't respond to her like that. Don't look at me in that tone of voice. I'm good at this. I'm anointed to do this. The boys didn't look at her like that. Oh, but you know, boys have hormonal changes too. I know they do. Can I tell you what those hormonal changes look like? He uses his strength and his aggressiveness to express his hormonal change. That's why his daddy will tell him, say, you think you're a man? You think you can whoop me? You can get up out my house. I ain't gonna battle you. You can get out of my house.
We ain't got to get up. I'm going to show you. I'm going to whoop you this way. Get up out of here.
Now let me tell you what my dad did. Let me tell you what my daddy did. And he told my mama to go in the room somewhere. Now, I know that sounds kind of, you ain't gonna do that. It saved my life. He said, you want to be a street guy? You want to be a hooligan? You want to be a thug? Hey, he got all your clothes, throw all your stuff outside.
That door over there.
Hey, get out my house. I got a block on my phone. I don't accept collect calls. You can go. Bye. Don't ever come here. And if I see you in my house again, I'm going to treat you like a criminal. I'm going to treat you like an intruder. I'm going to treat you like somebody that broke into my house and trying to take advantage of my wife. That's what my daddy told me. Ooh. Not only what he told me, that's what he showed me. Men we don't care about the feelings. What I don't want you to get a part of this, so let me show you the extreme of it. You think I'm cruel? They'll blow your brains out there. I'm just gonna kick you out of my house.
Yeah.
Oh, I saw them get that. I know the brothers that got their brains blown out. I know the ones that got 80 years, and 95% of them came from homes where they dictated.
Yeah.
Because when a boy reaches a certain age, his mama can't strike no fear. Sorry, ain't no fear. He just don't want to see you hurt. There is no masculinity that you can express that can trump the developing masculinity that he is experiencing naturally. That's why he clinged to his uncles. That's why he wanted to go and hang out with those other guys. That's why he wanted to see the guys in the neighborhood, because he is expecting and desiring a masculine deposit, and all he is receiving, he's got his mom, he's got his mom's girlfriends, he's got his cousins, he's got his aunts, he's got his grandma. But when he gets around men and see how they function, his eyes get bigger.
And then you're right, Dr. Steve. Let me jump in before I get ready to get off. Listen here. What you think we do to them boys when they come to the streets? That's
Boy.
exactly what we do.
Wow, we're gonna handle it.
And look at him. And when we handle them, they got mad respect for us.
They got, you know why? You know, can I say, let me tell you this. I gotta say this. I want to make every woman aware. I love you, mothers. I love my mama. My mama told me straight up, son, don't make your mama cry. That was it. I can't stop you from doing whatever it is you. I was younger. I was a teenager. Boys and girls respond hormonally through their changes differently. What I understand undoubtedly is this, that whatever we, how can I put it? Boy, someone to sign his manhood card. I'm gonna say it again. That teenage boy wants someone, because I've never been a girl in my life. Don't look at me in that tone of voice. So subjectively, I can identify with this, okay? So, well, you don't know. You don't know. Well, you can't tell me I ain't never been a boy. I've been one. And I know many of them. That boy wants a man to sign his manhood card. It's like an induction into a different type of society that says, oh, he's a man. And your mama can't do that.
Watch this, Dr. Steve. Watch how them two Reddit thing in that top screen with them little curly hair. Watch this. Let a girl call him a female dog. What is 20 below? Watch what she be at.
Well,
What's gonna happen? Y'all tell us what's gonna happen. Tell us what's gonna happen. Y'all two up there for pretty hair. Tell us what's gonna happen.
She gonna get that hair tore out of her head and throw it outside. I'm telling you.
Here.
See, it works both ways. When it's a girl, a man will want to protect that daughter when she disrespect that mother, or when the mother thinks she's being disrespected and she handle. We have to step back and let you do what you do. But see, when they come on board, man, you being too hard. We say the same thing.
Can I
be about them girls? No, I got this. She gonna learn today.
You know what?
No.
I can tell you right.
Attitude with a boy, baby, you being too hard.
Why? Tell us why y'all like that.
I mean, come on.
Why we being so hard on the boys, lady? Why? And that's Stephen, I see you. Why are we being so? Why do y'all feel that we are too hard on the boy?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say this here. Just listen to everything. I know. I don't know if it was on the show or not. Someone said that sometimes our parents taught us wrong. And Pastor Boy said a few minutes ago about when you said something, he said, well, I don't agree with that. That don't make it right. Just because we're taught something don't mean it was right. That's on the mother and the father. Mothers and fathers have made many mistakes in the past teaching their children how they was raised. Mm-hmm. Is that true?
True.
I heard a scenario about a lady had someone come ask her, why did she cut her ham and put it in this pan? Right. And so she said, well, let me ask my mother. I don't know. So she asked the mother, why do you cut the ham and put it in a pan like this here? She said, I don't know. Let me ask my mother. Generation from generation from generation, we do things because it's passed down to us. It don't make it right. But at the end of the day, when the lady finally got the right answer was, my great-great-great-great-grandmother cut the ham and put it in his pan because the pan was too little.
Simple stuff like that.
Now, here's the question.
And I got to go. But here's what I want to say. We taught, you know what we done? I'm going to tell you because I'm guilty of it too. We taught them and we protected them from our pain.
Right.
We made that relevant. Don't let a man do you like this. Don't let a woman do you like this. We taught out of our pain and we made that relevant in their lives so that they wouldn't get hurt. Call ourselves, now maybe not Dr. Stephen, but call ourselves protecting them from that type of pain. And the whole time they growing up, they would never meet Leroy, Cynthia, BB, Twaquilla. They would never meet a person like that, but they know how to handle those personalities, but they don't know how to handle somebody that's named Robert.
Okay,
Hey,
well, you said
So
y'all said something about why we are leaning on boys than girls, right?
Yeah. That's what.
Well, I was a single mom with 5 kids. I wasn't leaning on my boys or my girls because I realized that one day somebody gonna date or marry my son, and if you don't train them in the right way, how to even treat a lady, guess
Yeah.
what? That he's gonna go out and meet somebody and mistreat her because he wasn't told how to treat a woman.
Yeah.
Like even us females, there's 2 of us on here. Okay, I didn't have a father in the home. And I didn't really know how a man's supposed to treat me because it wasn't an example in the home. You see what I'm saying? I think men should be examples when they're married. Children should see their father treat their mother right,
Amen.
and they should see their mother treat the daddy right.
I agree.
Let's not go there. That sounds good, but that ain't real life. That sounds good, but that ain't real life.
It sounds good, but it's truth.
Well, watch this. I mean, I know it's true. You are absolutely. It should be where we show respect
Respect, yes,
to each other.
each other.
Now look at the sitcom. Now tell me how respectful this is. I'm upset with you. You going to the doghouse.
That's the woman
You
saying
going-
to the man.
You.
Oh yeah. You know you did it
Oh,
up
no,
in
no.
the night.
Let's
You're
go
a
there.
sofa.
Hold on. You're gonna sleep on. You're gonna bunk on Mr. Couch tonight. Well, you need to go to your man cave. Hold up, time out. This is my house. I ain't got no cave. This is my house. My house. I ain't dealing with you. This my house. Ain't this my house? Period. I'm the man of my house.
Yeah.
Can't be the man of your house. But if I can't be the man of my house,
Mhm.
problem. And I do concur. Show that she can treat you, that you can treat her right. But how
Right.
many times? And I'm saying this, and this is just to be objective. This is to be objective. Treat that. I've heard men say, "Man, I'm gonna do right. I'm gonna do better because I got a daughter." I've never heard. I'm not saying it hasn't been said. Man, I'm gonna treat women right. I'm gonna treat women better because I got a daughter, man. You know, I don't want my daughter I don't want my daughter to go through this, and I don't want my daughter. I've never heard a mother say that. I've never heard a mother say, "I'm gonna treat men differently because I want a woman to respect my son." I've heard mothers out of my 2 good ears, talk to their grown son that's in school and working. They 21, 22. They help their mama pay bills. They've had confrontations with their mama's boyfriend. And the mama will still tell him, "What kind of man are you?" He ain't. I'm telling the mother, "Hey, your son he's a good young man, man. He's a good dude. He's going to college. He's working. He ain't out here robbing nobody. He ain't much of no man. He just finally bought a car." But if you say that he's not much of a man and you want to brag about how great of a mother you are, then you are pathetic.
All right.
One of your assignments is to prepare him to live and survive when you're not around.
That's true, and I think it's an ignorant mother and a father to talk down on their children.
But here's the
Absolutely.
catch. Hey, but we already know. Notice I didn't say man because he's not around. I'm just gonna say he's horrible. I'm gonna just say the overall arcing. He's a horrible, deadbeat, no good son of a gun. How many synonyms can I use to say he's horrible? He's horrible. He's trifling. Give me some synonyms, educators. He's horrible. He's trifling. He's a deadbeat. He's good for nothing. He's
Dog.
trifling. He's a
Hello.
dog.
Yeah.
He's roaming. He's just everything around town. I'm trying to think of as many synonyms so I can get them all out. That way you can say I'm being balanced. But with all of those negative synonyms, he did something right. He got you. He got you.
Got you though, didn't he?
And with your and with all of the horrible claims that's placed upon him, he was still able to get you. Oh, he was a liar. I got it. He was no good. That would be able to work in the 80s, 70s, We got too much technology now.
Yeah.
Too much technology.
That's it.
Nobody believes anybody.
That's it.
Nobody takes nothing at face value.
Yeah.
What, he's horrible. For some reason or another, he's the one that got you pregnant, not the nerd that was sitting in the front of the class.
Ooh.
Nerd that
Uh-oh.
was sitting in front of the class that none of the other girls paid attention to. That trifling, no good, lousy, scoundrel, deadbeat dog, low down, low budget, slithery, slimy, greasy, slimy, good for nothing. He got you pregnant. The only way I will ever give a lady a pass is if she says she took it.
Ah.
What? Report, file charges. That brother need to be in jail.
Yeah. Under the
But
jail.
but if he didn't take it,
And you gave it to him?
go ahead and clown him as much as you can. It will still work. And that's what we don't like. It's that is what we don't like. I can't talk about her without talking about me. And see that now look here, look at it objectively. This is what we've had on Sally Jesse Raphael. This is what we had on Oprah. This is what we had on TV shows. This is what we had in movies. Maury Povich.
Yeah.
We had all of this on
Yeah.
how horrible we were. And that's cool. Men didn't say nothing. We just chilling.
We just did.
Because not now see, we're not going now. Maury Povich has exposed not all of those babies were ours, because there were 3 baby daddies that were being investigated, 3 different DNA tests. So how are we going to claim that? Now, what makes it even more uncomfortable? This is in legislation right now. They're trying to see if they can put into law that a DNA is required before child support is rendered. Don't look at me in that tone of voice.
And that right there.
Do you know who
change
had a fit? Do you know who had a fit? Do you know who had a natural fit?
The women.
I ain't gonna say a word.
The
was in-
women. They know their
infringing-
secrets is
Hold on,
out.
Stop the presses. Stop the
Yeah.
presses. It's infringing upon your rights just to identify who the baby daddy is.
Well, this got to be a very young generation,
No.
because us old. I mean, come on now. I think okay, if you're not sure, it's okay to do a DNA so you can know, so you get on. You're not let the
Well,
wrong
why
man
should
pay child
we
support.
have to- Why should we have to go through that point that she knows she been out here slithering, sliming, and going through cracks and walls, giving it up? Why should we have to go down there and get a blood test done on a lion slithering two-legged?
Because that's the type of woman that's the type of woman you
And you know-
entertaining.
and
That's the
this
type
is-
of woman you entertaining.
I'm not interested in who's horrible and who's
Right.
less horrible. I'm talking about I'm looking objectively at the law and
Right.
who's fighting against what is of equality.
Well, they shouldn't fight against that.
Oh, but they are.
But they should not. And the point of it is, the guy is out there and he's sleeping with this woman, and she got, like I say, I just think it's the younger generation doing this here. They have a lot of partners, just like the men's have a lot of women. They go through women too.
I like
Come
this.
on.
I like this.
But the point of it is,
Oh,
the
yeah.
woman is the one that get pregnant. That's the only thing about it.
So he erased
got
it.
it.
He
I got
took
it.
it.
Oh, this is
boy.
my element. Thank you. Hey, this is good. Now, here we go.
We'll jump in there, girl.
Oh yeah, this is good.
Yeah, for real. Because the thing about it,
like-
you know what? It's
Yeah.
some guys out here, you know what? I don't know. They doing it. I mean, I'm old school, you know. Hey, I believe in one man, one woman. But it's some people out here, they believe in not just they can meet you tonight at the club and go to sleep, but you don't even know
Alright.
the first night.
Well, who do you think?
Right.
Who do you think younger ladies learn certain ideas from? I've heard older women teach younger women how to stick brothers for their paper.
Right.
How to get them.
Well,
How
they
to get
grew up.
them.
They grew
Hold on. How to make sure that I wish I was making this up. I've seen older women teach younger women how to get that money for their child through ADHD. When your child don't have a learning disorder. He can sit his butt down.
Right.
Attention. Ain't nothing wrong with that boy learning ability.
But
That
you
boy
gonna
can
get
learn.
that dollar though.
Hold up. I'm not going to even go there. I'm not going to even tell you how many of the mothers I know that don't raise their kids, even though the daddy is a deadbeat, trifling, no good. Name all the synonyms. I can't go through this list again, y'all. Even though that daddy is all of those lists, you know what the mama does for that same kid? Drop them off at the grandma.
That's right. That's true.
Drop them off at the grandma.
That's true. And collect.
And the mama is getting the child support. The mama getting the child support. I've watched this. I'm watching this. The mama getting the child support. The mama's getting Lone Star. She's getting the housing.
Income tax.
And she's claiming the child on the income tax.
That's
so
right.
Who that child with most of the time?
That's
Grandma.
right.
So here it goes. Even though the daddy's not in the picture, he's not. But look at here, mama. You not either.
Right.
That 65-year-old grandma trying to check that hard-headed boy in school.
Yeah.
That 63-year-old grandma running behind this 8-year-old, 10-year-old, 11-year-old boy in the store.
Right.
And mama not at school. Mama that working.
I'm gonna take care of it.
And it don't make it right though. I mean, even about the law you were saying about they trying to pass a law so they can do the DNA before they pay child support.
And
this is one thing. I think that's a good thing because, like you say,
very good.
When they're on Jerry Springer and they got 10 baby daddies, and then they go through all of them, and then they run to the back of the studio and get on the couch and cry because they say, well, you need to find somebody else. There's got to be another. I mean, it don't make it right, but I'm just saying, yeah, I think they should pass that law so they won't be doing child support, and then they come back and then they paid all this money. You know, they paid all this money, and then, like I say, now it's not even his child. I don't think that's right.
I don't think no one cares. Yes, sir.
I want to hear what Dr. Wilson got to say, and then we're going to bounce it right back to you, because I know you'll be able to expound on this. Go ahead.
Just to add, I find nowadays that the older women are out in the streets more than the younger women. They actually got a name for it, and it's called cougars.
Cougar.
Cool.
They have the audacity to be waiting on these little boys coming out of high school.
Oh, wow.
And think it's cute that they buying them cars, clothes,
PlayStation,
and all of their PlayStations and training them, or they using the Hostella Got a Groove bag.
Yeah.
Getting them a little Winston. And so it's the older women that's more trifling that I'm seeing now that's messing with these little bitty boys. I have a little girl, so I can't relate to that, but I find it very sickening. Also, you have these women that's training these girls how to be manipulative. Even have some of them take them around these athletes and train them, these singers, train them how to go get the bag, they call it.
Right.
Leaving them. A lot of them know these girls be underage, and because these men have money, they are pimping they children. They call it, they pimping them. Mm-hmm. They selling them off for some money while they sit up on their butt, don't want to work, living off the state. A lot of them have these kids just to get food stamps and welfare.
Right.
Now, here is the question. You church folk, I'm saying you church folk, there's a difference between being a church person and someone who desires Christ. Okay. Some people are church people because they enjoy the entertaining event that the church may be having that day, but they can care less about the Bible.
Right.
That's not true. And what is frightening is this a generational curse, or is this generational teaching? Is this a generational curse, or is this some idiotic generational modeling? Because it's not a curse. It is not a curse.
Right.
It's not a curse.
Yes.
Read what the Bible calls a curse. A curse is something that is without your consent, without your volition. You are under it because God said it.
Right.
God said, this is what God said. He said, I will no longer put the children's teeth on edge for the sins of who? Of the father.
Fathers.
What does that mean? I'm not going to penalize a child because the dad is crazy. What did the Bible say when he says, when Paul writes and he says, curse, I think it's Galatians 3:13, curse be the one that hangeth on a tree. Curse be him not your
Right.
son, not your daughter. I'm so sick of these idiotic individuals that keep justifying spiritualized idiotic rhetoric to justify stupidity. That is a generational teaching.
It
That
is.
is a generational model.
It
A
is.
curse is, even if I didn't do it, I'm still punished.
Right.
Why am I punished? Because my daddy did it. Why am I punished? Because his daddy did it.
Right.
Why am I punished? Because his daddy did it. God said, I ain't doing that no more. You can choose you this day.
And that's true. And you know what? Like even I was watching this movie. I think Steve Harvey was on the movie. His son wanted to go out and have sex. Okay, and he was telling him he gave him a bag of, I call them umbrellas. But anyway, like I say, he was teaching his kid wrong to go out here and sow his wild oats. Like you say, wrong teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So you got daddies, they do the same thing, man. You know, daddies have taught their kids, their sons, if you don't go out here and sleep with a lot of women, you ain't no man. You got, this is what they teach them.
This is true.
Stupid. Can I tell you how stupid that is? Now, this is why it's stupid. And sometimes it's been warped because around Oprah, I'm going to give Oprah, because she's done such a great job in enforcing, encouraging, and impacting you colorful folks. You colorful folk. You folks that look like us. We took that garbage.
Yeah,
we took that garbage and ran with it.
Yeah.
We took it and ran with it. We took it and made it a law. We took it and made it a culture. We took it and said, let's allow this to dictate our environment. And you know what we did as a result of that? We started seeing all this down low stuff. This down low stuff.
Down low.
This down low stuff. And you know what else we start seeing? We start seeing being proud and being expressive to express your true self. So guess what happened? You start seeing some men that were enforcing and encouraging their sons to operate on the opposite end of that spectrum. Which is also warped. So let me give you this condensed version. Listen, bro. The most powerful position you can be in is saying what you didn't do. You don't gain strength by sleeping with her. You give strength by sleeping with her. You don't gain, I'm gonna say it again. She don't give you nothing. She presents opportunity for you to yield your strength. That's biology.
Yeah.
If strength is not yielded, seed will not follow.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't look at me in that tone of voice. Go check biology. So reserve that strength. Maximize your potential. Go to basketball practice. Go to football practice. But you know what's interesting? What's crazy is, yes, you are absolutely right. Some of our boys and some of the young men have encouraged other young men, hey, go and sleep with a bunch of women. Go and sleep with a bunch of women. Go on. But can I tell you something? No matter how they've encouraged it, the access that men have to an abundance of ice cream is not available to the average man. Sorry. Not every man is Idris Elba. Don't look at me in that tone of voice. Let me go to your generation. Not every man is a Denzel Washington. Oh, rings a bell? Rings a bell? That man might have a plethora because he has status and he has money. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Not sorry. So he doesn't simply have looks, height. He's got money. He's got the looks. He's got the status. He may have an abundance. Now, let me give you this bonus. A man between the ages of 18 to 23, what type of access do we have? Very little.
Very little.
Very minimum.
Because he's broke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got to develop a lifestyle.
And you will rob him before he get there.
He's got to develop income. He's got to develop stability in order to be attractive to a woman. He's got to gain maturity. He's got to gain wisdom. He's got to gain finances. He's got to gain the means and ways to provide. You don't just wake up all of a sudden, I can provide because I'm a man. Sorry, not sorry. He's got to go to college. If not go to college, learn a trade, learn a skill. He's got to make money. And then why is this? Now, here's what's interesting. That's what he embraces between 18 and 23, 18, 25. He don't have much money. So he can't do much providing. He can't give much provisioning because he's still trying to provide for himself.
Mm-hmm.
But can I tell you something? A lady between the ages of 18 to 25,
Mm-hmm.
she's at the pinnacle of what men desire.
That's right. That's true.
She's at her pinnacle in areas of fertility.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, not sorry. She's at the pinnacle of what men desire in terms of her beauty. In terms of her beauty, the amount of kids she has, and most times, I mean, if she's between the ages of 18 to around 23, there's a strong possibility she don't have any kids.
Right.
So we got to gain value. You already have it. What are you doing with the value you have, young women?
Mm-hmm.
Beauty is our value. Our resources, protection and provisioning and problem solving, that's our value to you. The most precious thing you can give us as a man is a life source that reflects our lineage. Sorry.
Listen.
Pray for me.
Yeah. Listen, our time is about up. Dr. Steve, you got a challenge coming on that scripture about the sins of the father shall remain about the children's neck. You got a challenge coming up on that.
Well, I don't mind. Read your Bible.
Yeah,
I
we gonna
can't
challenge
read your
this.
Bible for you.
We ain't gonna do it tonight, but you got it coming. We gonna come back on here. We gonna straight this thing out. That's number one. Number two is I really was trying to get to one of the most hottest topics tonight to talk about, and that was the younger generation and most older generation is saying marriage is a legal prostitution now. I was trying to get there, but we out of time. We're running out.
No, listen. People don't want marriage. They want convenience.
Right.
They want convenience and dual incomes and someone that will be a useful utility.
Right.
If you don't serve my purpose, I need to get rid of you.
Well, a lot of people don't want to get married. But let me say this before you go out: marriage is a covenant.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the
It's not
main
a piece of
thing. It's a
paper.
covenant.
It's not a piece of paper. It is a
That's right.
covenant.
It's a covenant.
Now, so
Now,
guess what? If you want
here you go.
marriage, you got to get covenant, and you got to sign the paper.
Whenever God instituted a covenant in the Bible, what had to be shed?
Now see that? There you go. Open it up. Stuff. Leave that alone.
You're going to put it out there. Tell you what it had to be shed in order for a covenant to be established.
That is true. That's true.
Somebody.
That's true.
Listen.
Hey, we in covenants all over the place. Get out of some of these covenants. You got 5 baby covenants, 7 baby covenants, 8 covenants. Know that he's a forgiving God. He's a forgiving, graceful God. Graceful God. Get out of your high horse. Get out of your truth.
Bye.
Get into history. Somebody
Nice
hurt
show.
your
Thank you
feelings.
for inviting us, Lamar Thomas. Thank you.
Play with me.
Y'all welcome. Hopefully we'll
All right,
get y'all
Dr.
back
Steve,
on
look.
the show. Hopefully we'll get y'all
All
back
right,
on the
Tim.
show again.
Bye.
Come back.
You.
And certainly we enjoyed every last one of you guys. Y'all can exit the room while I close this thing out. Dr. Stevens, that's Dr. Stevens. I don't know what I'm going to do with that Dr. Stevens. But anyway, listen, we ran over our time tonight, and definitely we are appreciative to having them on the show. I hope something came good out of it, and we'll get them back again, and hopefully get it more aggressive and pick up where we left off at. Why do the younger generations and the older generation, some of them are saying that once they are married, they don't never want to be married again because marriage was simply a legal prostitution where she had to do her part, he had to do his part in order to make marriage be what it is. And so it's a number, and it has about 4 or 5 more other portions. We had about 4 more other portions to come of this tonight. So hopefully we'll get a chance to get back in with you guys and cover some of these hot topics so you can enjoy. I hope you enjoyed tonight. We appreciate you coming out, listening to us. Join again, communicate in the comments, call in. That's why the number of the ticker down at the bottom. Call in and ask your famous question. We will use the floor to hear your question live on the internet. You don't have to tell nobody who you are. Just call in and let us know. Ask us a question, and we'll do our best to answer. All right, it's been a fun night. It's been a good long night, and we'll hear from you next time. Don't forget, tomorrow night, Women's Roundtable. We'll be able to let the women, we're going to put the women in control and let them do what they do. If they invite us, we'll be there. We'll come. We're guaranteed to be there. Have a good night, ladies and gentlemen. We love you.